I went through 40 odd years of hiding myself away.
Your own confidence, your own self-esteem, your own self-worth, these are all squashed down in a big fat body.
I was starting to tip into 22, 23 stone. That scared me.
The cost of obesity to the NHS is an enormous one. It's a huge problem and it's growing.
We can order takeaways at the touch of a button. Supermarkets have tempting cheap deals on chocolate, crisps and sugary drinks. And daily life for many is more sedentary than years past. All this is contributing to a national problem with our weight. At his heaviest, James was 25 stone. He says his weight has defined him since childhood.
I've never had a relationship. I've been a total loner. I had no self-esteem. I didn't like myself. I've never really lived a life. I've been like a recluse.
It was a health warning which pushed the 63-year-old retired postal worker to change his lifestyle.
I went for my diabetic review December 2019. He turned around and said, if you don't do something about this, you are either going to lose your toes or you're going to go blind. You might even lose your legs. And when I remembered that my granny went blind through diabetes, it was definitely a kick up the backside that I needed.
You able to shut your eyes for me?
Yep.
And then let me know if you feel any sensation.
Yes. Yes.
Little more than a year later, James has lost half of his body weight and reversed his diabetes.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
That's quite impressive. I'm so proud of you. I'm sure you must be quite proud of yourself.
I'm more surprised that it's happened this fast.
Almost 275,000 Scots are living with type 2 diabetes, 44% more people than a decade ago.
Type 2 diabetes carries a limitation, a restriction, a shortening of life expectancy, very much the same as major cancers. About half of all people, if they gain weight, will get diabetes, will get heart disease, will get cancers related to obesity as they grow older. If you do develop a cancer and you're offered chemotherapy for it, that's pretty nasty treatment, but you'll do it. With type 2 diabetes, we don't have chemotherapy. Instead, we have a dietary approach, which is hard work, but it's not going to make your hair fall out. It's not going to give you diarrhea, vomiting for weeks and months on end. It requires the individual to make the effort and to understand that it's really, really important.
That's exactly the road James decided to take.
I started getting up and doing walks. In 2 weeks, I'd lost 14 pounds. But then I could actually walk a little bit better, and I wasn't feeling as tired. I know it sounds foolish, but I was eating more than I was before. But I was feeling full and I didn't want to snack because I was eating vegetables, fruit, lean meats since last January, apart from Christmas when I had a pack of licorice, all sorts. I haven't touched any sweets, haven't had any takeaways, because I know in my mind, once I get the taste of it, I go back.
Like James, retired health visitor Cherry also struggled with her weight. She was volunteering with trainee medics in Dundee when she says she had a wake-up call.
I'm a simulated patient. This poor chap needed to do an abdominal examination, and my heart literally just sank, because lying back on the examination couch, all I could see was tummy, and I was mortified. Being a health professional as well, it was just silly not to take action. In total, 2020 I lost 6 stones. Some weeks I might only lose half a pound, but it was still a loss. I mean, half a pound's a packet of butter. You think, well, imagine scraping that off your thighs.
Cherry says she found it easier to focus during lockdown because she wasn't tempted to eat while meeting friends.
Nobody could come to your house. We weren't meeting up in town for coffee and cake. I mean, I think in my life, up to last year, I had never had a hot drink without cake, biscuits, chocolate. Things like, oh, I've got half an hour, tatties are boiling for the tea. I'd go and do a step workout, or I'd cycle 3-4 miles out the road and back instead of sitting down having toast. I learnt to hula hoop The month that I discovered, you know, I might have a bit of a waist, it was fun thinking of things that I really hadn't done since I was really small, or a child. Quite fancy getting roller skates as well.
You seem so happy in yourself as well.
You still have stresses and anxieties, but there's not this every minute of every day kind of worrying about if I've got something to wear today.
What would be your advice to anyone looking to lose weight?
We all wait for Monday, or we wait for the birthday, or we'll wait till after Christmas, we'll wait till after the holiday. Just get started.
And rest. Good, and relax.
Martin got started just a few weeks ago. The new dad put on more than 3 stone over lockdown.
Usually I play football and things like that. Usually I'm out and about, walking. I was working from home. I was starting to tip into 22, 23 stone. That scared me, to be honest, because that sounds like a real problem.
Was it a combination then of being in lockdown but also being a new dad?
When you're in a place where you don't have as much time, you don't have as much energy, it's very, very easy to consistently make really poor choices. There was a lot of takeaways, there was a lot of unhealthy food. I don't think there's anything wrong with that in moderation, but it wasn't in moderation, it was in massive quantities.
Like Martin, almost half of Scots say they put on weight during lockdown. Nearly a third admit they had more takeaways than before the pandemic.
On average, people with weight problems have tended to put on weight over this period, even if they're trying to avoid it. But there are some who have put on quite a lot of weight, and these tend to be the people who anyway were inclined to eat at home in the evenings when they're on their own, and the lockdown has kind of accentuated or broadened that period.
I think I have been overweight and I have been obese previously. I don't think I'd ever been sort of morbidly obese, which doesn't sound great, obviously.
Why did you make a change?
Because I felt unhealthy. I could really sort of feel it. Even when things settled down in my son's sleep, I still felt quite sluggish. Also, I want to be a good example for my son as well. I think that's important. And my son was making better food choices than me, and he was a baby. So I thought that wasn't a good thing.
When did you start working out here then?
3-4 weeks ago. I feel a bit more mobile already. It's all going to be about gradual changes that are going to build up over time to make those really significant changes, and that's exactly what I'm looking for.
Those gradual changes made by James, Terry and Martin have already had an impact on their outlook for the future.
I'm living a life now, whereas before I was just existing. This has been amazing for me, this has been life affirming.
It's been a bit up and down at times, especially at the start, but I would say now I'm feeling a bit more, as if I do have more energy, as if I'm able to do more things.
I can cross my legs, I can paint my own toenails now, so life's good.